Welcome to the Therapist After Dark podcast. Ever wonder what happens when the therapy session is over? Well, we're digging into the funny, heartwarming, and surprising stories therapists have after they leave the office. Join us, two mental health professionals, every week for a dose of laughter, a touch of drama, and maybe a few shocking revelations. Because therapists are people too.
Kerfuffles, P. Diddy.
Oh my god.
Have you heard all that craziness?
Yeah, and I love that every picture they post, he looks so bad, and they post the worst picture.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just feel like, isn't it weird that and maybe this has a lot to do with the fucking eclipses, multiple, but that all this child stuff is starting to come out even more now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, HBO did a special on Nickelodeon. It's so hard. Okay, I don't know if this is hard for you, but it's so hard for me to watch sometimes those shows. They affect me so much just because I used to work in childhood sexual trauma specifically.
Right.
So it's just it just devastates me to my core.
Yeah.
So I have to be really mindful of how much I consume. I watched some of the Nickelodeon thing, and then I also had kind of a triggering experience with family. That happens. And I had nightmares that night. Yeah.
Wow.
To the point where I had to wake up and I was like, Eric. Get him to nestle closer.
Yeah.
Siphon some of his energy because I was so nervous to go back to sleep. Yeah.
I know. I get angry right away. Disgusted and anger. And it just makes me angry of how and I know I'm a therapist, and I know you think therapists are supposed to be happy, go lucky, positive, but we're not all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, if your therapist is, run. But
run away.
Oh no, I lost what I was saying.
If your therapist is happy, run.
Yes,
but
angry. Before that, because it just makes me angry. So I will actually avoid.
Yeah.
That anger is a defense mechanism, right? I feel disgusted, so I'll get angry.
Yeah.
And that will cause me to avoid because I can't. I just, and it reminds me. Here we go. It reminds me of how sick of a society that we live in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah.
Not to say there isn't wonderful, healthy people in the society, in this world, in this life. There are, but as a society, as a whole, we're not doing too hot.
Well, I feel like that's the problem with the media. I think the media shows us that we're not doing that hot to continue to perpetuate the feeling that collectively we're not doing that hot,
right.
But in reality, which keeps us divided.
Right.
But in reality, I think there's actually more people like us who are really just want to contribute and to do well and to be good people. And I think that those people exist in far greater quantities than these fucking scum that we are forced to watch time and time again mess up,
But then I feel, this is a me problem, but I feel that I take the stance of indifference. And I always say indifference is the cousin of evil. That was from a famous speech, actually. But so sometimes I have that internal conflict, am I being indifferent? Because indifferent isn't good. But also, it's a way to survive.
I was going to say, and you also have to think about, we're trained to receive really incredible stories. I like to say incredible, and not react.
Right.
It's and honestly, that's a defense mechanism for us to protect ourselves from because we're obviously empathetic beings.
Right.
You mentioned on one of our episodes, you're not a bleeding heart.
No.
And that's by design, so that way we can receive really, really tough stories and help people work through them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't know, that we can't, that our empathy isn't there or that we aren't really affected by what's going on, but we have to present ourselves and compartmentalize and and whether or not that's healthy is a whole different story, but we do what we can so we can treat you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, compartmentalizing too. It's such a trauma response. That's why it comes so natural.
Well, I mean, Yep.
I don't know. It's a good skill. So I guess trauma had its benefits.
It always it absolutely does.
Yeah,
I feel like it does.
Yeah.
Trauma does have its benefits. I think trauma builds resiliency. Trauma shifts your perspective.
Right.
Trauma opens up the doorway to a lot of different things you would have never encountered prior to. And then just the intensity of that is a whole different story.
Right.
So I'm not trying to re-traumatize you guys as listeners or whatever.
Yeah.
But what do they say? Most of your therapists are crazy, which is why we're in this position in the first place, because most of us have been through something.
Right.
And I, not necessarily talking about that, but I know that you knew that you wanted to be a therapist and also run an art gallery, an art therapist at least when you were in high school and stuff.
Yep.
But did you have signs that people that this was your profession when you were a little girl?
No, not at all.
No, really?
No, I was a devil child. I was the one causing the problems. People told me I needed to go to a therapist.
I guess it's all that. I guess it's those.
I became my own therapist with art.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, everybody gets this path on their own terms.
Yeah, no, I know people gravitated towards you,
Mm-hmm.
and it really seeked you out for advice and just comfort, and I wasn't it.
I mean, if I'm honest, sometimes I wish I wasn't it, but
I don't know if I could have become a therapist. I don't know. This is all what's that, hearsay, right?
Yeah,
but I don't. I mean, at that, when I was young, people coming to me with their problems, I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Yeah.
That's why people didn't come to me.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. No, it made me feel like I was contributing. It made me feel like I belonged. I think I struggled so much feeling like I belonged, especially, being biracial and growing up in Houston, Texas, and all these little things, and just even socioeconomically, my position in the world and all these things. And I just feel like I never really felt like I fit or belonged anywhere. So, it felt really good being needed.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that I really had to learn to uncondition myself from in order to be in this position now.
Yeah.
Because if I was just oh my God, I love being needed by my clients, then now I'm the problem.
You know what's funny? And I can't believe I'm about to admit this. I hate being needed.
That's okay.
I hate it. I love helping people. And that's why I think I love empowering people to this aligns with my story, right? I'm the one who got my self-interest in therapy, because I was for a while there before I sought help, but I was my therapist. So I love giving that power to other people so they can bring themselves out.
Absolutely.
But when it shifts to more needy, that's when I kind of, I don't know, I get in my own way with therapy, because oh, this person needs me more than I can give.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's so funny, you guys, because I'm a relationship coach and I am struggling so hard right now, not that hard, to just keep my mouth shut and let her just.
Oh, I know what she's gonna say. Don't even.
Just, this is your story and this is where you're at, and I accept and receive. And, it's the same thing with me and the anxiety. It's just we have our, I think that's the one thing about being a therapist. It's we are also on this journey too. And that's something that's really important for me to let my clients know is we're on this journey together. I'm just a few years ahead of you.
Right.
Or I have a different perspective or a different awareness because of my schooling, but I'm still healing too.
Right.
Because shit happened to me, and even though shit happened to you, it also happened to me, and I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I'm not effective,
Right.
Which I think sometimes when people want to, I think the idea of humanizing or being your therapist's best friend sounds so fun. But if you were actually your therapist's best friend and you heard all the shit she talked about and complained about or have struggled with, you'd be well, you can't help me at all.
Exactly. Right. That's true. Right. Sometimes it comes in handy. sometimes no.
Absolutely.
But that's just me. That's my right. So you were very needed as a child growing up, and I was not.
Yeah.
But this is how we both found our path.
Isn't it interesting though? Like it both led us to wanting to empower other people to not be needed or to have some sort of self-reliance or confidence, right? No matter how the path was, it did, like it showed up at the same place. And I think that that's again another thing about the human experience. It's so powerful and wonderful is that we're so similar. All of us are so similar. Most of my clients, especially the couples, like they think that they're complaining about different things. And I'm like, you guys are complaining about the same thing.
Right.
I'm like, every time that you say this about them, can you ask yourself, when have you made them feel the same way? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess I have. I was like, yeah, you're just anxious and she's just avoidant. Or she's just avoidant and you're just anxious. Like, but you both have a problem with secure attachment.
Right. And then a lot of times they get stuck in the surface stuff, and it's like, it's not about if the dishes weren't done.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God. Break the goddamn dishes. I don't care.
The amount of times that I've been like, I do not care about the text messages. Do not send me those fucking text messages. Or does that happen to you? Where they want to send you all the text messages and all?
Show me the picture.
Yeah, they want to send you the receipts, honey.
Yeah, and or just like give me every detail of the story, and I'm like, but you're missing the whole point.
Yeah,
this is all surface level.
Yeah,
that you're just trying to like attach to or distract yourself from the real issue.
Yeah,
like that's the whole thing. Anxiety, like the more you talk about your problems and your anxiety stories, the more you just stay stuck there.
Right. Yeah,
I don't care.
I care.
I care. I love you, but I don't care. I don't care about the details because that's we get lost in the sauce there.
Help me understand the pattern, but once I know the pattern, I don't need to know the details anymore.
Yes, once the pattern is identified, this is the pattern. I don't care if the dishes are.
Yeah. So give me the details, maybe our first session or two, and then after that, I don't need to hear them anymore.
Right. But so
I don't need the receipts, honey.
Right. But so when the details start flowing and I'm sitting there, yeah. So this reminds me of a pattern, huh? Right? Oh yeah. So I just bring it right back.
Well, it's so wonderful because I think I've gotten so good with my clients about being like, or my clients just after a while when they know me well enough and they know that I'm like, okay, so like I don't really need the details.
Yeah.
So after a while they'll catch themselves, they'll go into the details and they'll be like, oh yeah, sorry, you don't need the details. So what actually I discovered is, I'm like, look at you.
Yeah. So
really,
can your clients read your face?
Can you read my face? Yes, absolutely. Everybody knows if I'm displeased or annoyed, or one of my new tells is if I go completely silent. I guess it's not new. It was new to me. I think I'm being like, I'm just trying to be like stoic and like, and just receive the information, even though it can be kind of difficult, whatever they're telling me, or like, or I don't agree. And so I'll just sit there and be like, And I learned recently that is a tell. That's a tell that I don't really, I've checked out.
That's great. Yeah, my clients call me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I see it on your face. I'm like,
well,
no, you don't.
Sorry. I can't hide this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want my authenticity.
I will warn my clients, like, I have a really hard time hiding my face. So
I know, right?
I do.
Well, it's so funny because you're not a bleeding heart, but like you wear your emotions on your
my
sleeve.
100%. Yeah. Any emotion that I feel, you will see it.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's so, man, all of the like little nuances. It's funny because before we started this podcast, it's not like I've ever really thought about these things. I may have talked about them every once in a while with like other therapists, we've had conversations like this, just like off the cuff.
Right.
But like to really go into the depths of it all, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of humanity here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot. Do you think there may be, I mean, right now there isn't, like, we're getting a lot of positive feedback, which is amazing. But do you think about, kind of crossed my mind a little bit today.
Are you going to manifest something during this portal? Do not
no,
it out.
No, I'm not manifesting because I know this isn't going to happen, but I know there's people out there who might have resistance to this podcast.
Oh, and that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Like honestly, it was funny. I actually wanted to tell you that when I was looking on Spotify and it's like other suggested podcasts, there's nothing that comes up that's like ours.
Our own little
category.
So perfect for us.
Yeah,
We really are.
Naturally,
Yeah.
because we're trailblazing something here. There will be resistance, absolutely. And I just assume that those people probably just won't even really tune in. Or if they do and they leave us a review, well, then clearly we got under their skin enough for them to like say something.
Yeah.
And I feel like our job is done there too.
Yeah. And you know how much I love that.
I know. So you should come back and fire at them. But if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't rated us yet, I feel like this is a really good time for us to share with you. Like it would be so greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Apple, you can actually leave a comment and a review, which would help us out so much. Share it with your friends, share it with your mental health professionals. If you have a therapist, share this with her or him.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely are going to understand what we're talking about here.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, wild. This is. I think I say this every time. Like this career is the things I've heard, the things I've seen, just wild.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it. I love it. I love it. Love it.
As much as I complain.
I don't even think that you complain. I think I don't think you complain at all. In fact, we get high off of it. Remember?
I know.
Like a drug.
Still waiting for any response with what the best drug is to match the therapy high.
Well,
I don't do drugs.
I was going to say, speaking of drugs, we don't need to go into the details yet. Maybe when we get a little bit more comfortable with this podcast. But I feel like the only drug that may compare, and I've never done this drug, mind you.
Okay.
But I just, based off of what I've heard about it,
okay. I'm scared.
I think it has to be heroin.
Oh no. I hope not. That's bad. Heroin kills you, no?
It feels so good, apparently. People, that's why people love it so much. That they do it. They don't even mean to die. They're just so happy in their blissful state that they happen to accidentally die, because they're trying to get that high again. But I would assume that like that's how it feels in the therapy room, where it's like, I'm so connected, I'm so present. It's just like so bliss. It feels so good.
I would say it's ecstasy.
Ecstasy doesn't feel like that for me because I have tried that before. So, once, twice, maybe twice.
I don't know. I mean, heroin just, that word scares me. I don't know why.
That's why I've never done it. I would never do it.
But I feel like heroin is to escape. I feel like ecstasy is you feeling everything to its highest capability.
I wonder if that's what mushrooms feel like for people. What else? I don't even know. Yeah, it's hard to me. It's hard. Yeah. What is your drug? What drug do you think would compare to like a blissful, completely feeling purposeful, like in the pocket of your genius, just in flow completely? What would that drug be? Because that's what it feels like to be.
Yeah.
Have it like in a real good flow. Yeah. I have no idea. I've always been terrified of drugs though. Seriously. I have many control issues.
Yeah.
Like the idea of like losing control.
Doing something in your body. Yeah.
I don't mind alcohol. Like,
like
a little alcohol here and there is like totally cool. I'll smoke weed a little bit, like barely, because I get too paranoid because I fucking don't like losing control.
Right. My favorite is when people are like, oh, I smoke weed to help my anxiety.
I get so annoyed with that too.
You're not. You're making it worse.
Yeah.
Like
PSA, you're making it worse.
Yes. Yeah.
You are. Because I hate, like, I don't, so even with pharmaceutical drugs, right?
Right.
What do they say? Like the combination, pharmaceutical drugs coupled with therapy, powerful benefits. However, the intention is to eventually wean yourself off of.
Yes, it's a tool. It's not. Yeah. Yeah.
But first the drugs and then the therapy later.
Right.
It's not meant to have both sustained at the same time for life.
Right.
And I just hate when people utilize like pharmaceuticals even. And I say this with the utmost respect to people who absolutely need them.
Right.
Because they're missing, like their hormones aren't aligned, or like the neurotransmitters are less or low, then makes total sense.
Yes.
But people who are just using it like PRN, as needed, and just consistently use it, like
safety behavior.
It's a safety behavior.
No, I do always specify that. I'm not against medication. In fact, I'm for it as a tool. If needed, but it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a piece in your toolbox that you're going to use, and when you're done with it, you're going to put it away.
Yeah. What about if your clients come to you
On medication?
Yes.
Oh my God, I get so upset.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Not on medication. Let's be specific. So like regular medications, like normal.
Right. Oh, sorry. Like on an SSRI.
Yeah.
Okay. So if a client comes in on an SSRI, I've been on this for years and nothing's worked. Well, what did you do with did you do with your time on that SSRI? Nothing. I'm just taking the SSRI. Well, no shit, it's not gonna work.
Oh, never mind. That's not what I even meant.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment to like be very clear about. I was thinking more like I'll have clients who will come in, and it's not it wouldn't even be a pharmaceutical. They'll come in high.
Oh,
or
well,
like,
they're not allowed.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, are they allowed? Will you still see them?
Depends on the client.
If we have a long-standing relationship and that happens, and I know that there's been something significant and traumatic,
right,
then we'll have a session, but it'll be
right. It's a different session.
Yeah, it's a totally different session. But most of the time, like, don't you dare come in here high, and I will know.
Well, you're wasting my time, and you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
But more importantly, my time.
Yeah. But you'll still pay for my time, but you're wasting my time. You're wasting my talent.
I already don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah.
Do not waste my time.
Woo! Yeah. How many clients do you see a day? On average.
On average, too many. I schedule around 7 on average a day. I know. I know. But I only usually see around 5 or 6.
You guys. You need to know. That is too many.
Well, I don't work Friday.
Hire somebody else.
I can't give up that control.
We're gonna have to have some other conversations off podcast. That's fucking ridiculous. 7 clients a day. You must be exhausted. You're also a manifesting generator, so you have all the energy of the world.
No energy. I'm ready to. No,
well,
you're right.
You have the energy because it's your baby and like you want to generate it, and it feels great.
So I will say it's usually averages out to 5 a day. Usually.
Better, but still so.
And on top of that, my dog gets 3 hours of exercise.
You're recording a podcast. You're running an art gallery. You're painting right now. You have a man. Like, there's just all these things you got to take care of.
You just made me anxious.
Sorry, I'm anxious for you, and I apologize for giving you anxiety, but at least you know what it is.
And I'm gonna go over.
Now you got to pay. Well, that's why you got.
I got to go to the DMV. Waste all my time at the DMV.
We'll just get another client so they can.
So sad.
That's too much. That's
I know.
too much.
I know.
Schedule 7 a day. So what time do you start?
Well, I break it up. I usually have a 10. I only a 10 and an 11, and then I go back at 2 to 7.
Back to back to back.
Just there's so many people who need so much help, and I just can't fit it all.
Oh my God, that's wild. Yeah, I remember those days. Like like max, I think the days that were the hardest were like when I had 6 clients a day every week.
Yeah.
And it was great. I was present, but I was so exhausted. And then I lived with a narcissist at the time. That the moment I walked in the door, and it was a woman, she was a girl. Moment I walked in the door, she was like, "Let me tell you all about my day," and blah 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 blah. And I was like, "I need 20 minutes. Do not come for me."
What did my eyes say, Brittany?
Don't you dare talk. I was like, I need you not to talk to me for the first 20 minutes. When I get home, I'm going to go to my room. And I would go to the room for like 20, 30 minutes, decompress, whatever. And then I come out and I'd be able to like receive all the things that she needed to talk about. But I've been implementing that even with my husband. Because now that I work from home, because she worked from home at the time. Now that I work from home, I'm like, "Hi, honey, what's going on? Let me tell you all about it."
He's like, "I just got home."
So we we have an agreement. If he engages with me first, then I will engage.
Oh my God.
The little things. It's important to learn these things whenever you're married or partnered, really. Yeah. Well, I think we did a great job on another episode. Proud of us.
Cheers.
Cheers. We figured it out. To all of you guys,
Yeah.
thank you for listening. Thank you for following us. We're so grateful. This has been such a fun project.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really has. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think and maybe giving us some topics to talk about.
Who's gonna give it to us? It only gets one.
I had
person.
to teach my friend, my boyfriend, the Jersey fist pump.
Oh, really? He didn't know it.
No.
He's never watched Jersey Shore.
Also, someone called me out really bad the other day.
Who?
I don't know who, but no. But they said you could spot the millennials when they're dancing with their hands up.
Yeah.
And I said,
That's rude.
how rude.
I just want to know, what are the Gen Zers doing? Like, you need your hands to, like, move a little, right? I don't know. Jellyfish. All right. Thank you. Bye.
We hope that you enjoyed the peek behind the therapy room curtain. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. Until next time, remember, life's a journey, even for your therapist. Take care and see you next episode.